Hello potential friends and adventurers, I'm M, and today we are going to talk about how to engage players from the start in your role-playing campaign. Welcome to the DM table. Some DMs, when they want to do this, they even skip the first step by pure accident. Let me tell you. I mean, I'm one of them, I'll admit. I used to plan these grand campaigns, and yet I didn't give much thought to how will people know that the campaigns are grand when it'll take a week before they even find out how it sort of starts to uplift them. If the campaign cannot represent itself, and rather quickly, then people won't know what to do, players won't know what to play, and aside from you expecting them to play whatever they want, which they might if they're great players, they won't know why they would enjoy your campaign and your world that you picked, because of the skipped first step I mentioned. And that one is, we should keep in mind, even before the very first session, we have the incentive to present the campaign in some such manner that players immediately know why they would want to continuously participate. And once we have that, then any session will, as long as it's decent enough, proceed with players having some foreknowledge of why this world is worth their time. Because think about it like this, DM does spend a lot of effort and time doing all this preparation, but players also feel like they're spending all that anticipation and attendance and so on. So if they don't know why are they attending, and yes, some people would just like to play, but think about it, they might want to play something. They want to know that there is something to play. Not everybody is a great DM right from the start, and not all people know what great thing awaits them if they keep playing. So you want to catch them even before the first session, even before the first episode, shall we say. You want to catch their attention with the premise, with a great premise to your campaign, with what would draw them in to get them to want to participate in all their ways that they will participate. Because if they have great ground for the story to unfold, they also will want to add to it. They'll know that they want to do their stuff. Because if the plane is empty, or appears so because nobody knows what will happen, if the world in which everything is happening is not really happening at the moment and nobody knows about it except you, then, well, nobody knows whether they can invest, whether there's anything that they want to cling on to. Because not everybody really wants to just be there and observe. They might want to have some sort of driving force that makes just being there, just being a participant, just being a hero of this event, or just a person witnessing this event, a cool once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So, therefore, you want to have a premise that catches players' desire for activity within that premise. Not just a premise with great story, mysterious characters, wonderful depth. That's all great, but you also want some sort of thing that the players can engage in, and you want to tell them early enough, even before they play, so that they know that they will be able to, that they will have what to fill their hands with, in the lack of sort of their own ideas from time to time. Because even if they have ideas all of the time, they sometimes, in fact, half of the time, that's natural for a world, really. Half of the time you want world to engage you, and half of the time you want to engage it. Now, this may change depending on the world, but remember, the only reason why somebody would want the world not to engage them is if they don't like the world. In all other situations, if a player likes the world, or you want them to, the player would be wanting to be engaged in a positive manner from the world at least half of the time, because that's what would leave a void otherwise. And therefore we do it because it's natural. So even if you are gonna be leading a sandbox, this would be a mistake if it was left out. sandbox can be a great thing to run if you have something that sort of is an outlet. Is an outlet for when somebody just wants to enjoy the world for what it has to offer them. The previous engagement that I just mentioned. So, as such, you don't want to just rely to wait so that you can place hooks. If you just wait to place hooks, it may work, but it's not guaranteed. You also want to have some sort of foreknowledge by the players, because if they were natives, they probably would have that foreknowledge, and they would know what it is that they are driven by to, partake of the journey. Something that would, if not give them specific motivation, will at least give a sort of a pillar in the middle of the story that they can build their side stories of how they and their character, how they arrived to the central activity. Think of it as Gold Rush from history. There's many people that went to attend, but not everybody was just there for the gold. There were many merchants, there were many interested sides, there was lots of potential for the books that were written about it to have all kinds of characters participate from all kinds of motivations. But these people only found those motivations because of something going on that drew so much attention and therefore created so much opportunity for the other people that were making use of the activity, even if not partaking of the activity specifically directly by themselves, or even if they did. So you want your outlet, but you want maybe more than one outlet just in case. Your group might enjoy having such a, even if it's a sandbox, the group may enjoy complex sandbox that has multiple things obviously going on. And by the way, I'm not saying that there's not many secret things going on and many revelatory, wonderful things that will blow their mind. No, I'm just saying that there are some also obvious great things happening that are so big that they're driving force for the entire plane on which they're happening. Think of Age of Exploration, think of some sort of war also, or think of some sort of great journey of exploration, or anything really. I mean, some franchises here are popular mostly because they have such a extremely good premise that even if execution is next to nothing, the premise just drives in the customers year in and year out, even if they are not really then paying really that much attention on what happens when the customers play. So if you want to join your players, you want maybe multiple such outlets, and really at that point we could add something even above that. We could have outlets beyond expectation. There's very little that drives interest into your campaign as much as fantastic engagement outlets that just sort of give you that, wow, I would so love to participate in this because when did I ever even hear, and yet it's all I wanted. That sort of thing. I need to give you examples so you can see what I'm talking about. If you're, for example, running a Wild West campaign and your players will be cowboys or cowgirls or something like that, is that the correct term? Well, anyways, imagine the following. There is a great race to discover a place of challenge and judgment from the god of wind that will bless the hand with supernatural speed and accuracy of the one adventurer that accomplishes this series of trials in that hidden divine valley. This isn't something that you usually run into in a western, but don't tell me you wouldn't think how this builds up on the world already, just from this short description. Now we can go further and make more out of this. As I said, various outlets are also there to be explored. If For example, your players are gonna be some sort of group of paranormal investigators. What if a new world opens up and there are secret portals only accessible by rituals, and once on the other side there is a world of abandoned cities and towns filled with mysterious phenomena that can be explored, many spirits that can be questioned, and rituals that can be performed, and powers stem from these interactions. Artifacts can be found. How about that? Or imagine, for example, a journey to enlightenment, climbing a wonderfully huge mountain, all filled out by stippled grandiose dungeons that dot its peaks, all presenting a unique philosophical and martial challenge. And in the middle of it, at the top of the mountain, there is a huge tree of life that presents further road to enlightenment with more challenges, and your players are seekers that are going to be climbing this, and it's kind of like some sort of bright and yet very serious bright version of Dark Souls in a way as well. How about that? Or say your players are cave folk, explorers that split off of their tribes, and they are in the huge mysterious world of prehistory, except there's alien abandoned towers and artifacts. There's mysteries of who are these completely alien visitors from other worlds that also might act in all kinds of that may act in all kinds of different manners even amongst themselves. Some are kind of like gurus to the new found humanity, while some are obvious or not so obvious enemies. Or you can even have it a bit simpler than that. But if you have some such premise that gives movement, action, activity, then, well, players will probably sign up all the faster. Well, tell me what you thought, and if you thought this was unique, you could leave a comment or spare a click. And I wish you luck on your adventures, and to see you next week. Bye.